Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anna of Reinforcement Club. Today, we are going to talk about the first year RN success tips. So, this is applicable to those nurses who are newly graduate. So, they're going to venture a job, a nursing job in any hospital. And this will also refer to those nurses going abroad. It could be Saudi Arabia, uh, Dubai, US, or anywhere in Europe. It could be Canada. Your first year in the country, first year in the company, or it could be your first job. So anybody, any nurse who is on their first year on the job in a specific institution, hospital institution. Now, this is about the what I've learned in my entire experience as a registered nurse. So I am not a good person. I am not a perfect person. I am stubborn. And out of my you know, over a decade of my nursing career. So this is the top 11 top tips that I've learned when you are a newbie. So I got, I work into hospital institutions in the Philippines. I work in Saudi Arabia, and now I am currently in Europe, in Ireland, and I do enjoy it. And although in some point in my life I started as yes, I could be stubborn. I don't like having a boss when I was younger, though. But the thing is, when you are starting out a job, a new job, it could be your first job or a job in a new country, you have to tame yourself. And, that's the part of the process. Because the first basic thing that you have to do when you are a newbie in the area, in the hospital area, any area that you work, you have to build relationships with the people around, basically with your colleagues, other than your supervisors, nursing directors. The basic tip on starting out your new job, nursing job, is to build relationships with your colleagues, with your preceptor, mentors, and patients. So you have to foster positive relationship with your patients and their families too, and the people you work with. And nursing is teamwork. You're not going to get hired if people will disapprove you in that area. It could be ward, ICU, emergency room, anywhere, even outpatient department. You have to get along with the people who works with you. So, number 1 is build relationship. Be respectful. Yes, that's the basic of all. It's another basic values when you are new in the place, respect. And you don't really need to brag about yourself a lot because you have to meet people. You have to accept them as they are. And of course, in the most part, you are going to learn from your colleagues anyway because they've already worked in that department for so long. So you have to get along with them in order for you to learn, and so that you can make up your own way. You can make your own way as you get along with them. So nursing is teamwork. You have to get along with the people around, whether you like it or not. Because in some point, you're going to work with them, you're going to hang out with them, and you're going to be happy, sad, and glad together in the area. The second thing that you have to take note when you are newbie nurse in the area, is that basically never forget to be a patient advocate. This is to this is to make sure that their voices are heard, their rights are respected, and their needs are met. If you follow this universal rule, patient advocate, you'll be fine. So when you are new in the area, don't touch anything, especially if it's another country. You don't know their rules and regulations there yet. Unlike in the Philippines where I started my training, yeah, you can do whatever you want because I trained there. I finished my education in Philippines, so I know the do's and don'ts. Although I have to get along with people every time I start a new job in a new area, in a new hospital. I have to get along with people. So in terms of patients' rights, yeah, you have to be advocate, respect. even anything that belongs to the patient, their records. When you are in a new country, in another country other than your native land, yeah, respect charts, records, respect patient. Always address their needs, and whatever concerns they have, you have to listen and raise it. Most importantly, and when you are a patient advocate, you have to make sure they're safe. You have to ensure the quality of care, and you have to make sure that they have the access to the health services in the hospital. And as a nurse, you are the mediator to all of this. Dietitian, laboratories, uh, it could be medicines. You have all the access to this to be given to the patient. You are the mediator. You are the way. But in the most part, protect the patients' rights, data, everything that pertains to this. Certain people only touch the patients that's been assigned to you, unless your colleague will ask help. Because once again, it's a teamwork. Only touch the charts that's been assigned to you, unless somebody or a colleague or a doctor asks for your help, or for your, it could be, perspectives or suggestions. Only touch what's yours. And when you are new in a country, although nursing principles are the same, every country have a different ways. They could be, some countries are, could be really vigilant with patient records and privacy. So since you're a patient advocate, you have to advocate, that to be an advocate to their records, to their data, respect their data that belongs to them. And to some countries, you could be punished to this. If you cross the line of patient records and their privacies, you cannot be forgiven. But so far, yeah, as long as you are a patient advocate and you know that in your heart, always ask. So yeah, you'll be fine. That is why it's important to build relationships with your colleagues, so that you'll know the culture, the rules and regulations, the laws of the country in terms of patient records, their datas, their charting, the do's and don'ts. Yeah, it all starts with building relationships with the people around you. So even though that you are, yeah, in your heart that you could be stubborn, you could be an angry person, it's time to tame it. It's time to self regulate. I hope you know what I mean. Because when you're starting out, you need to learn the way, you need to learn the culture. And there is no other way to get what you need other than to get along with the people around. So build relationship, the first one. The second one is be a patient advocate. Respect is the key. No matter how much you dislike some people around, it doesn't mean that you have to love them. You have to accept them as they are and live with it. You can't please everybody, and some people wouldn't like you too. You'll never know. Just mind your own business and do your job. And besides, you'll never know, you could be friends with those people that you despise. You don't know them yet because you are a newbie. And the third thing is seek mentorship. So most of the time when you are new in the area, you'll be given a mentor, a preceptor, to evaluate you, to teach you everything about the areas, the facilities, the common cases in the area. Could be the procedures, the routines, and yeah, the culture of the area, of the ward. It could be ICU, any specific area, emergency department, anywhere. They have their own way. So every ward 1, ward 2, ward 3, they have their own culture. Some areas, people don't get along there, but in this specific ward, people get along. They're good friends. They're good teams. So you have to get to know the people. And the third, of course, your mentor is your way to get in to the culture, to the routines of the ward, the facilities, the different cases that's going to be uh, cared for, tackled in the ward. So your mentor is the way. Build relationship with your mentors. Seek mentorship. Find an experienced nurse. So other than your mentor. So that's why you need to build relationship. So find an experienced nurse who can mentor you through your first year. So they can provide you with advice, support, and guidance to navigate your role. And you can also have this ask advice, guidance from your mentor too. So yeah, build good relationship with the people around. Be a good person. At least if you have 8 hour shift or 12 hour shift, forget about your stubbornness. Forget about your angry part. You are a newbie. And that is the only way for you to learn and improve yourself. You have to neutralize in order to feed your mind on the area that you're going to venture in a period of time. It could be, you could stay in that work in that area for 2 years, 3 years. You'll never know. It could be for the rest of your life. Number 4 is ask questions. So don't hesitate to ask questions, seek clarifications, and don't hesitate to ask help too when needed. It's better to ask assistance than to make mistakes that could impact patient's care as well as your career, nursing career. So ask help, ask questions in the most part. And for you to be able to remember, because we're not we don't have this AI memory, you have to take note. Get a small notebook or a tissue paper. That's a Girl Scout way or Boy Scout way. Tissue paper, but never don't forget to transfer it to your notebook, your mini notebook, wherein you can write down all the important things to be done in the ward or in the area that you work with. So how you ever, whatever you consider, how you consider your area, these are the people I work with. This is the company I work with. This is the company I work for. It's up to you how you treat it, how you perceive things. But never forget to get along with people and ask questions, ask help. Number 5 is stay organized. Because nursing can be demanding, you could have multiple tasks and responsibilities. So what I'm trying to say with being organized or staying organized is you don't have to be like an OCD person. If you are not an organized person, look, being organized in nursing is just 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes. When you join a team in an area, so it's your first day, your mentor is going to orient you about the place. And then for the entire day, you have to observe the nursing routine. So what's going to happen by the time you start your work? So you are going to receive a handover from the night nurse from the previous shift. The second thing could be, this is just for example, you're going to take vital signs. The other nurses will take vital signs to all their patients. Some nurses will do vital signs and they give medications altogether. So you have to take note. So this time you have to you put it in your notebook that this is at this time, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is the vital signs time. And this could be the medication time for patients. And 8 to 10 o'clock. So you have to note the routine. 8 to 10 o'clock, you'll never know what's going to happen. So this could be the time wherein, for we help patients going to the toilet, or we change patients' beddings 8 to 10 o'clock after getting vital signs, giving medications. It's the patient care time, 8 to 10, plus doctor's rounds. So 8 to 10 could be the time. It's kind of hectic though, but you have to take note the routine. You have to read the routine of your area. 8 to 10 o'clock could be the time wherein patients are going to their diagnostic procedures. It could be from 10 to 2, doctor's rounds, different doctors coming into your wards. You have to listen to their plans and carry out doctor's orders, plus patient care, 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you learn this from your mentor. And then, you could also ask your mentor, your preceptor, about how she does her charting. What are the patients who are the patients that you can scan. Since you are new, you ask your mentor, can I check the chart, the chart, the patients that we are covering? Can I touch the chart of this person since I am much interested about the case or not? You have to be careful. Respect, once again, be a patient advocate. So always ask questions. And staying organized is just easier said than done. But although nursing is quite complicated for the entire day, take note of the routine. All right, this is to make your life easier. Otherwise, yeah, you can get along with the routine without knowing what's happening. You just venture the day. But if you know what to expect in a day, then you'll be well prepared. That's just being organized. You don't have to do some task at a certain time, because nursing could be hectic, could be complicated. You never know what's going to happen. Although you are planning to do something at this 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, sometimes it doesn't happen that way. You have to be flexible too. Just take note of the routine once again, because that will help you get organized. And number 6, of course, be flexible, because nursing is unpredictable. You are planning a bedside care between 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning, then suddenly somebody had a cardiac arrest somewhere. And then one of your patients got complications. Then there you go. It's critical condition. One of your patient has developed an infection, and that patient is in critical condition, and then all your plans are broken. So you have to be flexible. And sometimes your plans are wouldn't happen. So you have to be adaptive in some ways. That is really life. And as you work longer in that area, you're going to develop a plan. So if this will happen, then I can do this. Since there are you will find out soon enough what are the common cases that you're going to cover in that area you're going to care for, so you know what to expect eventually. And as you go along, as you work on that area in a longer period of time, you will develop a plan much better than the plan that you have on your first day. That is flexibility, and your plans will evolve and improve as time went by. So that's what it means to be flexible and adaptive. Number 7 is, of course, you are in the busy part now. You are taking notes, you're learning from your mentors, you're trying to build good relationship with your colleagues, whether they like it or not, whether you like it or not too. Never forget to take care of yourself. So this is a part where when you go home, you have to talk to yourself that it's all right. You have to stay positive self-talk. Take care of yourself, eat healthy, meditate, deep breathing. When you're upset at work, deep breathing, talk to the wall. You have to vent your bad energy, your negative energy in a healthy manner. That's one way of taking care of yourself. Otherwise, if you can't, you're going to be burnout, exhausted, and stress out. And it happens to everybody, even me or anybody else. In some point, no matter how good we are, we're going to be burnout. That is why, adaptability, flexibility, you have to be ready for that. When you get burnout today, the next day, you have to do something in order to prevent that. That's part of the learning process. Yeah. Take breaks. And if you really looking after yourself, work out, exercise. That is one way to burn fats or calories, keep your body in shape. And of course, one of the benefits of doing workouts or exercise is it is a stress reliever. Find activities that can help you relax and unwind. You could go to your friend, talk to your peers, talk your heart out to the people you trust. Speak your heart out, whatever you have in mind at work. But of course, be mindful about being a patient advocate. And since you are still a newbie in the area, you are building relationships. Be a patient advocate and be an advocate to your mentors, to your colleagues too. Don't trash talk yet. Just talk your heart out, and can somehow convince yourself that you're going to get over it, because you will eventually. You get used to those people with attitude. You get used to them since you'll be working with them anyway. Number 8, after taking care of yourself, embrace feedback. Feedback is essential for your professional growth. So welcome the constructive feedback from your colleagues, supervisors, and patients that will enhance your nursing practice. So, of course, some feedback should not be good. Some feedback could be good for you, but most importantly, you have to take note of the feedback that's not good for you. That is your key to success. It means that there are things that you need to improve. When you have bad feedback or when you have a negative feedback, let's just say negative feedback, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It only means that these are only the areas that you have to tweak a little bit. Negative feedbacks are good. It means that you have a way to improve yourself rather than people telling you how good you are, but there's no way for you, like, am I really perfect? You need negative feedback for you to become a better person, a better nurse, or the best nurse in your ward. You need those negative feedback. That's your room for improvement. And always remember that some things should not be taken personally. So, yeah, it could be hurtful for you. Some feedback could be daunting. But I love this. I love the concept of time. Time heals. When I started out my job in every institution, it could be in the Philippines, Middle East, or here in Europe, I always receive negative feedback. And most of the time, to be honest, people don't like me. The first 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes 3 months, I even ask myself, am I an alien? What's happening to me? Am I a person? But you know what? In every institution, in every area I worked, they don't, even though they don't like me, first couple of months. Look, as time went by, 5 months, 6 months onwards, some people became like me. They don't necessarily like me, but they learned to get along with me because I did my best to get along with them, to accept them as they are. So they have no choice because I'm already there. They accepted me, they love me, and every time I ended my contract in every hospital, we're having a party. It doesn't mean that they're happy, being without me. It's just that they're gonna miss me. You have to really tame yourself when you are a newbie, when you are a new nurse in the area. Tame yourself. Don't let yourself out yet. You're gonna have a time for that. Be patient because it's time to learn. You never know the people that you hang out with. Get to know them, and so that since you'll be able to know their way, then you'll learn how to really deal with this type of person and this type of person, and eventually you're gonna learn to work with them, and they are the way for you to know the ward, the area that you work with, that you work for. So yes, nursing has the same principles, but largely, especially different countries, it's different laws and regulations, but the same principle. Get to know the culture, get to know the country, the policies first. That's part of the being a patient advocate. Then you'll be grand. You'll be great. You'll be good. So reflect on your experiences. Take time to reflect on your positive and negative experiences in the area, and of course, ask yourself what have you learned from those experiences, and improve them. So that is why negative feedbacks are important. And every time you encounter new procedures that you've never done before, especially if it's really your first year, you just graduated your nursing degree, get to, yeah, reflect on those procedures that you've never done before because they will be your gold mine when you apply to another hospital. Those difficult experiences that you have, those nasty ones will be your arsenal when you work to another country, when you work to another hospital. Your past experience is your gear. I'm not going to talk this way if I don't have those nasty experiences in my nursing career. I'm not saying that I am the perfect one. I can be stubborn, but there will always be time to be stubborn, and there is the right time to be adaptive, to be flexible, and there is time in life or seasons in a day or a week wherein we have to self-regulate. Because, we have to improve. We can't be angry, we can't be stubborn whole year because we need to learn if you chose to. That is to me. That is my own perspectives. You have to be adaptive because there's a lot of problems that will come along as you work in your area of nursing career. Number 10, develop critical thinking skills. Now you are working with your mentor every day. So you ask questions to your mentors, you ask help, you take note of the routines, and it's important to look at your mentor, observe them, what they're going to do if this thing happened. Like, for example, if the saturation of the patient comes down to 90 and you observe your mentor, they're gonna take note what's really the case of the patient. Either the patient could be COPD or the patient doesn't have COPD, but the auto saturation is going down. So you have to observe your mentor, what they're going to do, what is the standard operating procedure about it. But deep in your heart, as a patient advocate, that there's something has to be done about it. If the patient is not COPD, that's just for example, or other cases. That's the learning process. Develop critical thinking skills. So observe the people around, your favorite senior nurses, observe them, what they're going to do at certain situations, how they make decisions, and in the most part, how they solve problem effectively. So you can have different perspectives. So this particular nurse, my mentor, will do this, while another senior nurse will also do this. Otherwise, they could agree together that this is the right intervention. So that's a way of learning. You gather information from your mentor, from your senior nurse, from your supervisor, and then there you go. You learn something. And other than that, you could also read your book. Go back to your nursing books. What has to be done in certain cases that calls your attention. So continuously hone your critical thinking skills through your practice and reflection. So what you've learned about that day is, do I need to tweak my routine when I am, when you are the one working alone, when you are not with your preceptor or mentor anymore, after a certain period of time. It could be, they will let you work on your own for 4 weeks or 8 weeks after. So yeah, it's important to reflect about your learnings and critical thinking skills about the people around, and always ask, even by the time when you work on your own, always ask questions, ask help. So learn the cases as well as the procedures in the area, the SOP in the area. And lastly, set goals, short-term, long-term goals for your nursing career. So if you are planning to become a supervisor or a head nurse someday, you got to be really, you got to know your area. If you want to be a head nurse in your area, a supervisor in your area, you got to know your area well. You got to be really good at that. Whether pursuing further nursing education, specialization, leadership roles, if you want to specialize your area, intensive care unit, or emergency nurse specialization. There are some further educations that the hospital can in which the hospital can sponsor you, or you can just sponsor yourself for that, for your further education, so that you can be promoted. So it's up to you. Have a clear goals to guide your career path. Make it a habit to stay updated with the latest research, guidelines, and best practices in nursing. Engage in continuing education. So yeah, somehow it actually depends though. I had my master's degree in the Philippines, medical surgical, but it's since it's different in yeah, since it's different in Saudi and in Europe, I mean there's no sense. If you are planning to stay in the Philippines, you might as well, yeah, it's better to take a continuing education, a master's degree, if you're planning to stay in the Philippines and become a head nurse, because that's essential. That's part of the credentials that you have, that you must have as a, if you want to get promoted. And of course, remember that in your first year as a registered nurse, it's just the beginning. And you have to, yeah, it should be the time for you to learn, and you can be more curious in those months, your first year in nursing, in that particular hospital, in that country. So by incorporating these tips into your nursing practice, the thing that we're talking about today, I hope this will lay a strong foundation for your successful and fulfilling career in nursing. The message that I brought about today. And if you like this topic, this content, please share it to your friends and family, and follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Reinforce Me Club. And always remember that you don't really need to be the best, to be better than others in your nursing career. You just have to be the best version of yourself, and part of it is to really take responsibility of your goals, of your dreams. Because as you go along, as you grow old, as you go older in your nursing career, you realize that what working on yourself, working on your hopes and dreams in life is just enough. If others think that they're better than you, then they're right. Just leave them alone. Work on yourself. Be happy, mind your own business. But you know, you know, I'm not saying that you have to separate yourself from the rest of the people in the ward or in your area. This is teamwork once again. So if they think that they are better than you, then be it. Just be a better version of yourself. Compare yourself from the time when you started your job, the second year that you started your job. Make sure that there is some progress inside the area, or it could be in your family. So make sure that you have progress. Reflect, and be a better you. This is a lifetime education. Thank you very much for your time once again, and have a lovely day. This is Anne. Bye.